Hi, welcome to the video. My name is Dychronic, and today we're going to be talking about the Xur. His location is random rolls and recommendations for February 11th, 2022. Hey! I'm working here! Thank you. You can find him in his regular spot on Nessus, so just head over to the Watcher's Grave and make your way on top of this big old tree, and you can find the Xur right here. Next to the precipice. This is a high overview in case this is all you wanted. Moving on, for the exotic weapon today, we have the Graviton Lance. Oh, I do love this ornament. Graviton Lance. It's essentially a scout rifle in the form of a pulse rifle, because that second shot, the black hole shot, does a lot more damage. And it also has infinite range. Furthermore, it does have this big cosmology explosion that causes void projectiles. From my experience, these don't do a lot of damage, and they were nerfed pretty heavily in PvP. Although I would still say this is a good and decent option, there are better options. And furthermore, there is a catalyst that actually gives it more aim assistance, which is something that's very rare. The second shot burst rips a hole through space-time. Okay, buddy, relax. After that, for the Hunter Exotic, we have the Lucky Raspberry. I still don't have an ornament for this thing, do I? Essentially, it increases the chaining capabilities of the Arc Bolt Grenade, which I believe means it can chain one more time and at a farther distance, and has a chance to recharge each time it deals damage. Essentially, every time it chains, it's 25% chance to recharge. 4 people in the chain, 100%. This exotic is actually not bad. Used to be in my top 10 for a while. It's probably like top 15 nowadays. The big issue is that Arc itself is not really that strong. Not to say that it's bad, it's just not really what makes you want to use it. When it comes to the role for this particular exotic and hunters, you want to see high mobility and high recovery, and of course probably some high discipline whenever you don't actually get the charge. Because it's a 100% or nothing kind of game, you want high discipline. Overall, not a bad role, good total stats of 63, but you could do better. Following that, for the Titan exotic, we have the Mask of the Quiet One, which a lot of people have expressed as the poor man's one-eyed mask, and I agree in many ways. First of all, you grant ability energy whenever you're damaged. This part is actually the best part. You get like 1 to 5% every time you get damaged, which is pretty nice. However, depending on getting damage is not really nice. And when you're critically wounded, you regain max health on kills. The problem here is that max health, it means the health section, just the first third of the bar, which is essentially worthless. When it comes to the role on this exotic, you probably would like to see a bit more ability stuff, really lean into that. So discipline, intellect, and strength, which is okay, but low recovery makes me just kind of go, ugh. Total stats at 65 is pretty good though. Whoa. And finally, for the Warlock Exotic, we have the Winter's Guile, which is going to be the melee damage exotic. Eliminating enemies with melee attacks increases your melee damage. So every melee kill, more melee damage. And I forget how many stacks you can do, but it used to be that you could 7-punch a dungeon boss with this particular exotic. So it's not that crazy anymore, but it's there. Just haven't found many uses. I personally prefer Karnstein over this every time. When it comes to the role, high recovery, high intellect, and nothing else is extremely spiky. On this exotic, you'd obviously like to see a lot of strength. So if it was high recovery and then like instead of the intellect, the full strength, it might be a decent distribution, but total stats a little below average, and this is just, it's kind of crazy. I mean, like, who would do this? Oh yeah, and there's an ornament. I always forget about this ornament. Oh, it's the other arm. I'm like, the ornament only makes the thumb thing go whoop, whoop, whoop. No, it's on the other arm that makes it, okay. I guess that makes sense as your right arm, but like, I mean, you could have done something over here, Bungie, come on. Moving on, let's go ahead and take a look at the different options. And I see a number of weapons here that I actually really like using. Firstly, we have Gnawing Hunger with Subsistence Demolitionist, which is an excellent weapon. If you don't have a 600 RPM energy weapon, get this. It's a decent roll. Demo is really nice to have. Subsistence is good, although I would like to see a bit more range stuff on this, and there is Kill Clip and a lot of really great stuff on this. After that, the Last Dance, Quick Draw, Dragonfly, not really what you're looking for, but decent damage and mag stuff, or range and mag stuff outside of that. Although this can have Kill Clip, and I recommend that. Following that, the Cold Denial. Grave Robber Swashbuckler, not at all what you're looking for. Has stability, would definitely like a bit more range. After that, the CQC-12, which has a Quick Draw Vorpal. No Assault Mag, although it does have Full Choke. This actually may be a decent PvP option. After that, the Ikelo Sniper Rifle. No distractions, multi-kill clip. Not really what you're looking for either mode. The Temptation's Hook, Tireless Vorpal. I personally like Relentless Vorpal, and this would probably be one of the best if it was Relentless Vorpal. And I think right now the Gunsmith actually has a Relentless Vorpal, so go and get that. And finally, the third Axiom, which is an excellent 390 Pulse Rifle, although you can definitely do a lot better with these possible rolls. Following that, let's take a look at the Legendary Armors. For the Warlock specifically, very high recovery, low total stats, is kind of a maybe, but not a big fan. high mobility, recovery, and intellect. Very nice sets of stats that I personally like, although again, a little bit lower than I would like. This one is a decent distribution. I personally don't like resilience, so I recommend this one. And this one has high recovery, high strength, which could work very well with your Winter's Guile or any of the strength-based stuff. You have Celestial Fire, definitely a good option. 62 is pretty good as well. And finally, get your exotic engram. Gives you an exotic you've never received before and a very high stat roll. And of course, if you had an extra of those exotic ciphers, you can keep getting more and more. You can see here this one dropped with actually not a bad roll, although you'd like to see a lot more intellect on this. 64, And of course, if you haven't seen it already, I do live streams right after these videos. If you want to come see it, we were going to be streaming on YouTube today, so come check it out. Literally this YouTube right here. Oftentimes playing open lobbies for raids and seasonal stuff, and there's really not much left to do, so we're just kind of fucking around, let's be honest. And of course, a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Specifically, a big thank you to Mom and Dad, Christian Thompson, Dr. Strange, Kelly Allen, my next backgrounds, Raymond Shonen, and Panther, Case of Reagan for their support on Patreon. And that's it. Hope you guys did enjoy my items. I'll see you guys on the next one.